Hello, I took a break after drafting cards in a quick draft course at 2021. And I will build my deck now, so it is Selesnya counters deck. I will cut cards out of my colors first. So there are some nice cards I drafted in red. These two especially. This is also nice. But they aren't splashable. So let's cut some other cards I'm sure I don't want to play. So how many 2-mana creatures do I have? I would like to cut all the Prismites, so I don't think I'll be that desperate for 2 drops. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's enough. I'd rather fill my deck with track down than with Prismite. So battalions need some cheaper attackers, but I still think I'm not that desperate to play Prismites. Let's see what else is there. So these 4 cards are candidates to be cut. Short Sword, Vine as well. But I think I will have to leave some of them, and this deck will be cheap, I suppose, so probably I'll play 16 lands, so some of these cards will make it. Maybe one Prismite will make it as well if I have to leave some fillers in my deck. Maybe Prismite makes sense, and Wingmer wants my me to play almost all the cards to be creatures or lands. So I have some incentive to leave only the best non-creature spells. So I won't cut removal. Secure the Scene is probably the least exciting here, but still should make the cut. And with 2 Zeech Strikers, I think I'll leave Titanic Growth as well. But Track Down isn't very exciting. Short Sword, maybe Short Sword will make the cut. So this Vine isn't too exciting as well. Prismate is quite bad. So there is some incentive to splash red here, because I have some powerful cards, but you'll have to leave some fillers, and this Prismate is really looking very bad, so at least splashing the 3rd color gives it some utility. If not, it's just a terrible 2/1 creature for 2 mana, which is very bad. So maybe a splash of my best red cards after all. That would be these two. It's also not very appealing. That would mean playing this in exchange for one planes, and maybe playing all the prismites I can get my hands on, and not playing mountains, just prismites and land, top land, and these two I don't think it makes sense anyway, so one, two, three, four. So 4 cards I would rather, or I could just consider cutting, or would rather cut, but short sword isn't that bad in this deck, so maybe let's just get rid of these cards. And the mana curve is worse now, because I have a lot of 3 drops, and makeshift battalions could be unexciting in this deck. So 2 1-drops, that's alright, but I could use some more 2-drops, so 4 isn't great, and Pteranodon still needs some support to start attacking, so it doesn't support battalion that well. And that's some reason to play Prismate, but it's so bad, so playing it just for makeshift battalion and mana curve purposes. I'm not that desperate. I think with 4 2-mana creatures and 2 1-mana creatures, it's really bad. So I think I'll focus on my more expensive cards and just. I think I'll play it as it is. So Splash in red is really unexciting because these cards are just good when you play red, but aren't great splashes. Seems they are just cheap, effective spells, not some powerful spells that you are happy casting in a late game when you draw your red mana source. So, you're not that likely to play them early if red is your splash. Okay, this makes sense. Quirion Dryad should be very good, since I have 15 white and only 8 green cards. That also means that maybe this distribution of lands is okay. I still don't have double white in my costs. This has white in its activated ability, but it's for 5 mana, so it's not that important. 1-drops ask for playing more white because I can double spell in turn 3 playing Watchdog and one of the 1-drops or something like this, or in turn 4 double spell. So it's good to have more planes, but some reason to play enough forests is Brontodon, which is a good creature but has double green in its 3 mana cost. And that's it, so I think 9-7 is about right. So I'll start with this approach and we will see how this deck performs. So the lack of 2-drops is the most annoying here, and I think the luck. Not I'm just I don't play enough of them, I suppose. So and especially the ones that can attack without some other supports. So I mean, Pteranodon is good, but won't be able to attack on turn 4 when one of my battalions will enter the battlefield. So that's also another reliable creature for these 2 copies of battalion, and I should play battalion in this deck anyway. So there is some tension here. That's not that big of a problem. I think this deck can be powerful enough. Let's see how it performs. And I don't. I think I want to play this Wingmare, and I don't want to play Trackdown that may cost 3 mana, and just for mana curve purposes. So I can have a little. I can be a little heavier in the 3-drop department, especially since I don't have that many more expensive spells. So one 4-mana spell, 2 5-mana spells, and 2 spells with X. So I can just double spell in turn 4 or turn 5. So a heavy 3-mana slot isn't that bad, since I still have a decent number of plays on turn 2, turn 1, and I can use my mana to equip a short sword as well. I think it makes sense here. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out the link to the whole playlist of this event in the description. So I'll move on to my games now. See you.